I do want to be a little bit more active, like exercising more.
Paying attention more to nutrition, paying attention more to moving every day.
I had to learn how to change up different things that I was eating before.
HIV, we're not just dealing with HIV, we may be dealing with mental health.
I want to live a long life, and if I can do something now to ensure that happens, I want to do it.
It's part of the process of getting older and living with HIV, which is not bad really at the end of the day, because at the end of the day we're here, saying I'm still here.
In this episode, our subjects discuss the additional steps they take to stay healthy outside of their treatment regimens, as well as the unique challenges associated with HIV and aging. First, you'll hear from Noah, who was in his 40s when he learned he was HIV positive. He immediately started focusing on how he was treating his body.
So after I got my diagnosis, there were lifestyle changes that I had to undertake. Some of them I did right away, smoking, really cutting back on alcohol. Other things took a little more time, diet, exercise. They are maybe in progress, things that I'm working on. And it took, it's just like we all do as we get older, paying attention more to nutrition, paying attention more to moving every day. It wasn't easy to do right away, but it became easier the more people knew what I was trying to accomplish. Being forthcoming about my HIV status and just being forthcoming as a man in his middle age, working to pay a little more attention to his weight and to nutrition and exercise. It helped to get a lot of reinforcement from my friends and family to make those changes.
The things I do to stay healthy in addition to taking my HIV meds are taking my vitamins. I take my omega-3s, flax seeds. I've done this even before I was HIV positive, so nothing has really changed in terms of taking care of my health.
But for Giuliani, wellness goes far beyond diet and exercise.
I do want to be a little bit more active, like exercising more. And lately I've been seeing a therapist because I realized that, this is something that I want to talk about. I want to be able to collect my thoughts, and I want to address, like my trajectory, what my future goals look like. And I know that when I talk to someone, like a professional doctor, I feel less stress when I'm managing things because I have a lot of things that I'm doing currently right now, different projects. And so I just want to make sure that I'm in a good headspace.
Anthony's message is a powerful reminder of the emotional side of health.
My advice is first, make sure that you're comfortable with yourself having HIV first before anything, because you could have it and you're still not comfortable with it. And maybe that might be looking in the mirror and saying I have HIV, and then after that affirming yourself and saying I love myself, or going to counseling because HIV, we're not just dealing with HIV, we may be dealing with mental health.
Being HIV positive and pregnant may also require specific lifestyle changes. This is Kimberly.
So while you're HIV positive and staying healthy while you're pregnant, it's the most important thing for me was changing up my diet and the medication. I wasn't on any medication until I got pregnant, and that was something that was scary to me because this is a new thing. I'm already experiencing being pregnant, and then I'm experiencing going on medication for the first time. So I had to learn how to change up different things that I was eating before. So if I crave chocolate, I had to change and get some nuts. If I wanted coffee, I would have to get some tea. And it was a lot of things that I was used to as somebody who wasn't pregnant that I had to change into mommy mode and figure that part out. One of the things that helped me when deciding to get pregnant was it was a constant conversation with my husband. And I brought him with me to the doctor, so that way it's not just me having a conversation with him. He got to hear it from my doctor also. So that way it was kind of a confirmation for him. And keeping him in the loop helped with not just me, but also helped with him. So if I slacked with maybe eating too much or not eating enough, he was like, you remember what your doctor said? You remember you have to do this? So it was a really good team when it came to that. if you're not with your partner, then having a good support system really helps when you're having a baby.
You know, I want to live a long life, and if I can do something now to ensure that that happens, I want to do it.
Erica takes a proactive role in her care. Before beginning her treatment regimen, learning about HIV provided her with a healthy mindset.
After my diagnosis, I just researched a lot of information on my own. It was an overwhelming experience, but I was able to find hope in that through everything I researched, through what my doctor was telling me, I could live a long life, a healthy life, and it was very hopeful for me to keep finding this information in not just one place, but in multiple places. I was able to find, all this research that says, people with HIV can live about the same or even longer than people that don't have HIV. So I knew that I could one day be a grandmother and be able to live a long and fulfilling life.
Living with HIV and aging for me personally is had its ups and downs, only because I was diagnosed in the 80s. So that's August 18th makes my 35th year anniversary being paused, but I'm living a life of I'm the next, to go, because the way everybody's been going and the way, but so it has its up and down. It's a tough road, and you would think by now it should be easier, but it's still a tough road.
Grandfather Hector Extravaganza has been a powerful voice for those living with HIV for more than 3 decades, giving strength to those in need. Aging has given him a new perspective and a new mission.
Being who I am in the community, I always I get called upon, help this youth, go to this group for youth, go over here and help youth. And for the past 15, almost 20 years, one of my main complaints, because now it's a complaint, is I'm seeing a personal epidemic. Elders are not being respected. I feel elders are being neglected and being pushed aside because I feel like they're calling on the elders to help the youth. But I don't find much, who's helping the elders. That's why I want to start my own group and call it the Patriarchs, because I want to make a change. Considering that we are getting older, it's very important. It's very important because we still need the same health care. We need the mental care. We need a hug. So I feel like, in a way I do feel like I was being used. Because I'm an elder helping the youth, but now the elders need help. We need help, and we're still here.
And while Hector's story is inspiring, like many diagnosed in the 1980s, he never expected to live this long.
And I feel like, society within its health commission, what have you, they didn't know we were going to live this long as well. Because there's a lot of people that I know that worked in organizations and been in an organization for a long time, and they didn't know they were going to live this long. So because of that, we didn't invest in homes. We didn't buy anything. We didn't invest in any type of investment, period. We never did it because we didn't think we were going to live this long. So why bother? Because that's another thing that because we're living longer and we're aging with it, age discrimination is strong. So even job forces is strong. We're already getting rejected because we're elder. And now, we're living with HIV. We're getting older with it. So it's hard. So it's more than a double-edged sword. We're getting it all over.
But Hector's rigor and perseverance hasn't changed a bit.
Well, taking the drugs, the meds has the ups and downs, the pros and the cons. It's confusing, because, I'm getting older and and I have the virus just as old, because I was in my 20s, when I got diagnosed. And the two A's is confusing me, which is HIV/AIDS and aging. So when I'm feeling back pains and I'm having new meds, I'm not sure if it's a side effect because, of the meds, or it's because I'm getting older. So that's kind of like the back and forth. It's like playing tennis. But, it's part of the process of getting older and living with HIV, which is not bad really at the end of the day, because at the end of the day we're here. Saying I'm still here.